You need some help?
Your tow chains are a little loose. Could spark a wildfire. I could show you how to secure them properly if you'd like.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Anytime. You should check out SmokeyBear.com. They've got a bunch of tips on wildfire prevention.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back to Studio 2. Spring is here, so campus is blooming with events. Reporter Maggie Dalrymple brings us to WKU's celebration of Ohanami.
Activities, food, and culture, all inspired by a specific tree planted over 20 years ago.
In 1906, the mayor of Tokyo, in collaboration with the First Lady, which was Teddy Roosevelt's wife, arranged to donate 100 cherry trees to the United States, and they were planted in Washington, D.C. And so, 100 years later, Gary Ransdell, gave the cherry trees to WKU.
Surrounded by cherry blossom trees, food was served by the WKU restaurant group as the event continued.
Say the second or third WK Ohanami. So Hanami is a very important time in Japan, generally happening in March when the cherry blossoms are in full bloom. Folks tend to go out to parks or other recreational areas just to kind of hang out, enjoy time with friends and family, eat, drink. So it's a very special time in Japan, especially because you'll find a lot of like cherry blossom themed foods in like convenience stores like 7-Eleven and Lawson.
This event was not only to celebrate Ohanami, but also to highlight the opportunity to study abroad and the resources available to help.
That I hope that students will think about studying abroad in Japan or someplace else, and that we've been extraordinarily successful with Gilman scholarships. There are scholarships to study Japanese from both the U.S. government and the Japanese government. So it is very, very, very approachable.
For News Channel 12, I'm Maggie Dalrymple.
For more information on study abroad, you can visit their office in the Honors College or go to their website at wkuglobal.com.
We all know about the Hot Rods, Bowling Green's main tourist attraction. Do we really know that they are more than just a baseball team? Yesterday, I visited the Hot Rods ballpark and had a chat with some of their managers. Blake Forsey and Riley Eldridge were kind enough to take some time out of their busy schedules to appease my antics. I asked them about the history of charitable events the Hot Rods have hosted in the past couple of years. The season only goes so long for the team, but it never ends for their front office. They plan events year-round to support the community, as well as teaming up with local schools to support the youth and instill a love for baseball.
Job, but you got to make sure that you're still visible in those off-season months. Obviously, there's not as much to welcome people into the ballpark too, so that's a big time to get out into the community. Whether it is a Halloween event where you take Roscoe to see all the costumes and hand out some candy, or like we did this week, Easter events where we see we can hand out some goodies to the kids wanting to see Roscoe and the Easter bunnies.
Blake Forsey told me that they work close with Habitat for Humanity, and it just so happens to be across the street. They, along with the Hot Rods, support, provide shelter and clothing and warmth for those who can't provide for themselves. With all the support the Hot Rods have given us as a community, maybe it's time we support them in a similar light. All you have to do is show up. The Hot Rods always have something going on, whether that's on the diamond or not.
The season here starts April 3rd, next Friday, and we're excited for that. We can't wait to welcome everybody through the gates. So many fun things that we have planned here for this season. And then once the season ends, we have more events. We have, Tequila and Tacos April 18th, which is a big festival here at the ballpark where people can come in and try different tequila samples and tacos and have a good time.
So Hot Rods baseball season is right around the corner, but I know you were at the stadium yesterday. You talked to Blake and Riley, and they just talked a little bit about the off season, kind of how they're prepping, how they're giving back to the community. What did you learn? Like, can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, and you know, they always do this, right? This is the norm, right? This has to be a part of your character to be a hot rod. And back in 2021, when the tornadoes hit downtown Bowling Green, they actually provided a lot of funding and support to help rebuild that part of downtown, which I thought was fascinating.
That's awesome. I think it's great. You know, they are a baseball team, but they're also a great organization. I know they mentioned fireworks and then tacos and tequila. Are you going to be there?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm going to be as many games as I can be. And, you know, as far as tacos and tequila goes, hey, that's my style. But one thing I learned that was kind of interesting is they don't control the players. The Rays do. So they're just kind of glorified groundskeepers. I don't mean that to be insulting, but I just found that kind of interesting.
I know, I'm excited for baseball season. Definitely want to go to a Hot Rods game. But with the warmer weather quickly approaching just in time for a Hot Rods game, Tati will give us a full weather breakdown leading into the Hot Rods opening day.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School, college first round draft pick on and off the field. We were taught to not show any signs of weakness. During the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. I thought that something was wrong with me. For 20 plus years was physical. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father, as a man, and as a husband. Put the importance on your mental health. I'm not scared to talk about it anymore. The first tool is therapy. The second one is positive self-talk. And then journaling, putting your thoughts on paper. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire. How to control the flames. What to do with hot coals. How to secure your chains. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Back to News Channel 12. I'm your forecaster, Tatiana Barr. Right now, Bowling Green, we are sitting at a lovely 57 degrees with winds from the north-northeast at 10 miles per hour and a dew point of 45. Temperatures throughout all of Kentucky are significantly cooler than we've been seeing this past week, with 48 in Paducah, so a lot cooler in western Kentucky, 55 in Bowling Green, and 56 all the way in Hazard. We can see in Louisville also 48, so a little bit chillier. And then for our wind speeds, we do have a little bit of wind gusts appearing mostly along the southern border between Tennessee and Kentucky, 10 miles per hour in Bowling Green and 17 all the way in London. So a much larger difference, and it's going to make it feel just a little bit chilly outside. Current satellite and radar, we're starting to see those showers move in as that cold front is pushing along, but I really want to pay attention to our future radar here. We're starting to see those clouds and all of that rain move in, coming up at about 2:30 p.m. Then it's going to start making its way out at 6 p.m. and then everything's pretty much going to clear up by tonight around 1:30 in the morning. For our hourly planner here, 3 p.m., 54 degrees, and then we're going to start to clear up the more we go into the night, dropping to 43 degrees. And we do have that freeze warning that is going to be in effect until tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. So just make sure you keep all of those crops and plants and stuff covered. 7-day rain graph, we're going to see a significant change in rain starting on Tuesday, and then the chances increasing as we get to the end of next week. And taking a look at our 7-day forecast, right now we can obviously see we're starting to have some showers approaching here, and then going to clear out and be nice and sunny tomorrow, dropping down to 58 with a low of 36 degrees. So getting a little bit chilly up there, and then we're going to start warming up over the weekend. Tuesday is where we're really going to see those higher temps approach, along with some rain chances increasing. And all the way into Thursday is when we're going to start to see a significant rain and thunderstorm chance with a 60% chance and a temperature of 80. And when we return, reporter Jacob Fox will give us an update on all things March Madness.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut, the one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink, or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking, now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed, better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead, catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Be right there. Wait. Use the shovel and bucket of water, remember? Drown, stir, drown, feel. Then make sure it's cool.
Where'd you learn that?
SmokeyBear.com. Brushed up on some tips before we left. Don't want to start a wildfire, right?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing to keep us focused.
A habit we never skip, to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game? To drown out the self-doubt and support your mental health. Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mental health. Discover the resources that you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
Welcome back to News Channel 12. I am Jacob Fox, and we are talking all things March Madness today. There's 3 weeks of basketball that have madness, chaos, and a whole lot of basketball, and this is everyone's favorite time of the year. So we have 12 teams remaining now after our first part of the Sweet 16 was played last night, where Arizona won, Purdue won, Illinois won, and Iowa won, and tonight we will have our second part of the Sweet 16 with Duke St. John's, Michigan, Alabama, UConn, Michigan State, and Iowa State, Tennessee. Some big storylines from this. Only one double-digit seed made it to the Sweet 16, and that was Texas, and that happened last year as well with 10-seeded Arkansas doing that, and both lost in their Sweet 16 games. So we haven't also had a mid-major in the Sweet 16 the past 2 seasons, which kind of comes from the NIL and stuff like that, where teams are dominating a little bit more of the game compared to a mid-major school that cannot spend as much. But this has also led to blue blood programs like your Kentucky, like your Kansas, like your North Carolina, not making it to the second weekend of the tournament because they all lost in the round of 32 this year. And our Final Four will begin Saturday, April 4th for the tournament. So talking a little bit more about the tournament, let's go to the East region first. This is a very powerful region for extremely good coaches. John Shire for Duke will face off against Rick Pitino tonight, and Tom Izzo and Dan Hurley will face off tonight. 4 coaches, really good in the tournament, know what they're doing. It is going to be an extremely fun East region. And then for our Elite Eight on Saturday, we have Arizona versus Purdue. Purdue, a very experienced team in this setting, but they play to their team's standards, and Arizona's been the most consistent team in college basketball. Could be a really fun matchup simply because Arizona is coming off a 20-point win against Arkansas. Then we have our Cinderella in the 9-seeded Iowa Hawkeyes, Ben McCollum, a 5-time D2 Coach of the Year, and has a 394-91 record in Division II basketball at Northwestern Missouri State. And he coached at Drake last year, made it to the tournament, upset 6th-seeded Missouri in that tournament. So he knows how to win. He knows how to get there. Iowa could definitely make it far and be this year's Cinderella.
So I've been looking at the bracket, and two games really catch my eye. First is St. John's and Duke, and the second is UConn and Michigan State. Do you think that Rick Pitino effect will come into effect tonight?
I think there's a chance tonight, but this is what St. John's needs to do. They've done it all year. They've played really well in that first 4 minutes, and Duke this tournament has struggled. They have not won. I believe they haven't won the first 4 minutes yet, and I know against Siena they were up 10-6 and then lost it really fast. So if St. John's were to come out tonight and play extremely fast basketball early, physical basketball, because that's a Rick Pitino coach team, Cam Boozer and that Duke team, I don't think they're going to win tonight.
I know you all know your basketball. I know a little bit, but let's be real, not too much. But I do know that Florida lost. Was that a surprise for you, Jacob?
It was a surprise for me, but they got hot too early. And that Iowa team lost 7 out of their last 10 games going into the tournament, got a big win against Clemson in round 1, and the way that team plays, they're extremely physical. So
thank you so much, Jacob, for coming on. When we return, we'll see how one WKU student stitched her way into her own small business.
A lot of my friends told me that I wasn't going to be able to do it. You don't need to start out with a teenager because they've had all these things that they've gone through.
Could we give him the things he needed to be a successful adult?
What parent isn't worried about, what am I not doing right? What am I not doing enough?
That's my son. My dad showcased a sense of love that I never had before.
I had a rough time, but I saw that even though the way I was acting, they didn't push me away.
She says that we're her heroes, but she's also mine.
I've had 3 other mother figures in my life, but only one of them has taught me how a mother loves.
How you guys raised me is absolutely amazing. And I really, really appreciate that.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing that keeps us focused.
A habit we never skip to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game, to drown out that self-doubt and support your mental health? Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and your mental health.
Discover the resources that you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
With spring officially here, small businesses are beginning to sprout. News director Jonah Listerman has the story.
In an apartment in Bowling Green, Kentucky, a small business is making its mark on the community.
My name is Zoe Graham, and the name of my business is Stitched by Zoe. So it's a small hand and machine embroidery business. We make apparel and bag tags, basically anything that you can do with a machine, I'll make it.
Graham started her business as a freshman to put a different spin on her college apparel.
I first started making apparel for colleges because I wanted something cute that I could wear to class and stuff, and I didn't really see anything like that out there, so I decided to make it, and then I started selling them, and that kind of grew my business from there.
However, no small business is an easy feat.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to market yourself, especially when a lot of my apparel is a lot of college students and then college parents that want to wear the shirts and sweatshirts to games and that kind of thing. Like custom embroidery it takes a lot of time, so you have to market yourself and price yourself fairly to actually make a profit. So it is hard, like getting my name out there, because the prices, like at first people think it's more expensive, but like the time that I put into it, like it's worth it for a handmade piece. My progress over the years of like making the shirts I've been proud of, and like getting to see recently, like they're just better quality than like what I started out with, which my prices have increased as like my quality gets better. There's not a lot of people that do it or like commit the time to doing it. Your piece is one of a kind, and like even if I make 2 WKU sweatshirts, they're not going to be the exact same thing.
Each stitch is made with love and a promise to stand out. For News Channel 12, I'm Jonah Listerman.
To find more Stitched by Zoe creations, you can visit her Instagram at Stitched by Zoe and direct message her with your orders. Another business is also getting things going right in their backyard, but it's not just any business, it's a zoo. Check it out.
Javon first built these were all wooden bird kennels. It had nothing but birds through here, so we call this Main Street.
It's a main street where you can hang around with a sloth, chill with a kookaburra, or roll around with the warthogs.
He's a dromedary camel. He's a one-humper.
Juvan and Shannon Vallum taking their love of animals to the next level, turning their sprawling property between Guyton and Oliver into a safe home for hundreds of animals and exotic birds from around the world. Welcome to Hope Ranch.
People say, a zoo in Guyton, Georgia? That's not possible. We didn't know that was here. So we've taken things nice and slow, tried to just be very slow and methodical about everything that we do, making sure that we're prepared, making sure that we can take care of the animals before we are just really open to the public.
Many of the animals here donated, others rescued, like Pogo, the rhesus macaque just settling into her new surroundings at Hope Ranch.
We've had it here for just a couple of weeks. When they come here, they get blood work done. They are in quarantine for a while. And she just was this last weekend able to go into this new enclosure here to where she could be able to be a monkey and be outside.
Housing and caring for so many furry, four-legged, and feathered friends, no easy task. A small staff and volunteers helping turn Shannon and Juvan's dream into a reality, and taking this one small private aviary and ranch, turning it into a full-blown zoo now open to the public.
Constantly learning every single day, learning information about these babies, teaching ourselves as well as sharing knowledge with each other. We have lots of people that come here that share knowledge with us, and we take pride in everything that we do here at Hope Ranch.
That was so adorable. I mean, don't you just love seeing animals like that? I mean, what do you think of that, Alex?
Oh yeah, I think that's great. I mean, a zoo, perfect in time for this weather coming up, spring. Haven't been to the zoo in a while, but if they have the means to do so, a zoo in the backyard, it's the first I've heard, but I think it's a great idea. It's something new for sure. Definitely would love to see something like that in Kentucky for sure.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's going to be nice out this weekend, at least from what I think, or at least what I've heard. What do you got planned this weekend?
So this weekend, not much planned, honestly, but I definitely want to get outside. I know it might be colder again, according to Tati. The weather's a little bit up and down. Maybe I'll take a hike. Maybe I'll go to the zoo if it's open. I think that would be fun. But honestly, I'm not sure yet. I will say Bowling Green Lost River Cave, great place to go. I talked a little bit about that earlier in a previous show. You can go on a nature trail. You can do a butterfly trail. There's a bunch of stuff to do. It's great. A lot of people don't know that they have events there too, just like the Hot Rod Stadium. I know you love your baseball. But that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us here in Studio 2.
And have a great day.